Hi everyone, welcome to Ask Maria. Today I am going to answer a question, and that question is how long do I freeze vegetables, garden vegetables? And that's the question I've been getting lately is, I have all these different garden vegetables that I have, whether it's peas or string beans, green beans, fava beans, and also for fruits, we're in the season of blueberries. So I've been getting some questions of how long do I freeze it and how do I freeze it? For the most part, all the freezing that you do now, you can save it for up to a year of doing it, but you've got to do it right, okay? But you can have your vegetables, your fruits, for most of the whole year to use. You have a good year. The only thing I do not freeze, and that would be potatoes, sweet potatoes. Those things you can't freeze. That you need to keep in its skin, and you need to keep it in a dark, cool area. But for the most part, everything else, you want to flash freeze it. So I'm going to give you an example of blueberries. When I pick blueberries, I do what I need to do with them. I make all my desserts, my breads, all of that stuff, and then I keep some of them in the fridge that I know I'm going to be using, and the rest I freeze. And what I do is I lightly clean them up really quickly. I make sure that they are dry because you don't want to put anything wet in the freezer. So if there is any liquid on anything, you want to make sure that your fruit and vegetables are dry. So I make sure that the blueberries are nice and dry, and sometimes it's a few hours to make sure that they are. And then once they are, I put them in a 9x13 flat tray, and I flash freeze them. I put them in the freezer for a few hours, and sometimes overnight, depending how much time I have or not. And then I take them all, and then I put them in a freezer bag, a freezer plastic bag. And then I have that to use all year round. And I do, again, like I said, I do the same thing with my green beans, with my peas, and my fava beans especially. I mean, today I received more green beans and more fava beans, or the broad beans, some people call them broad beans, from my brother-in-law who has this huge garden. And I'm never going to say no to those, because I'll have that for the rest of the year to be able to enjoy it. And so it's really good. I also, just to give another thing, tomatoes. We're going to be getting a lot of tomatoes pretty soon, because that's going to be coming up. And again, we can only eat so many tomatoes, and then we have so many extras, but there's never enough. Because what I do is I roast the tomatoes. That's how I save them. I take them, I cut them in half, I toss them in a little bit of olive oil, salt, pepper, sometimes a little bit of other seasonings that I want, and I roast them in the oven. And then when it comes out of the oven, the skin almost like curls up and peels away, and then you have all of these chunks of roasted tomato that you can use in your soups, in your, how can I explain it, in your sauce if you're going to make some sauces. So you can use your tomatoes, again, throughout the year. You can save that for a year. And one of the last things, someone had asked me about corn, because I guess they have a lot of corn that they grow, and how do you, do the same thing. Personally, I like to cut the corn off the cob, and again, let it dry out, flash freeze it in the bag. It's in the freezer for a year again. So again, very easy. So I hope I helped you. And I hope that you're all preserving and holding all these vegetables in your freezer. You might have to have another freezer. You might have to go out and buy a freezer. I don't know. But that's as easy as that, folks. So I hope I did answer all your questions on that. And I think that's it. Love all your questions that you're sending me. I really appreciate it. Keep them coming. And we'll see what I bring up or answer next time we're together. So until then, beijinhos. Have a wonderful week.